And it is on this day, filled with thunderstorms, that we are taking you along to our library. It is in an old castle, so maybe this weather will fit the mood. Hi, welcome to Bookwood. I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. If we haven't met before, my name is Mashou and I create bookish and journal-related content over here on YouTube. In this video, I'm taking you along with us to our library, starting from the very first preparations until putting the books away at home. If you have been hanging around, then you might have noticed that there is already such type of vlog that is integrated in an Orilium vlog from April 2025. But I really wanted to give our library its own little vlog on my channel. And don't run away if you saw the mentioned vlog, because this one will hold more images of our library, but also some information about the historical building it is set in. But before we start doing what we do to go to the library, let me tell you why that our family chooses to read mainly through it. Before you ask it, yes, we do buy books, but we buy not as many books as we would like for several reasons. The first one is that we are a big family. We are 7, and all 7 of us read. If I buy books for me, then I also should buy books for everybody else. And that will cause 2 problems in our family. The first one is, I think, the same for everybody. It's budget. Books are not cheap. And even if we buy them secondhand and stuff like that, for 7 people that read around 60 books each month, not including the audiobooks and the Kindle included books, well, that would be a budget. And I prefer to spend that budget on other things, so we read through the library. It is also a decision made for space. Our houses in Europe are not as big as houses in the States. I don't have the space to store all these books. Also, reading through the library, some people might think that the authors do not get any gain from their work since you don't buy the book. And having a chat about that with Celine, which is our head librarian, who unfortunately wasn't there today because otherwise I would have presented her to you, then she told me that their computer system keeps track of how many times each book has been borrowed, and that authors are getting paid for these borrows in Belgium, or at least in Wallonia, but I guess in Belgium. I don't know how it is in other countries, but here, that's the way it is. Reading through the library also means that we do have some limits to work with. We can only read the books that are there, even if our library does buy a book if we would like to read it and they don't own it. We also sometimes, have to put books on hold. Books are not always there when we want to have them, so we have to work with that as well. Also, newer books take a while to arrive at the library, which means that I'm often reading books that are out of the hype of BookTube. But I feel that is a strength, because I cannot be the only person who makes the choice to read that way. Maybe it's also a choice for ecology. We need to spare resources. So people might also take that in consideration. And so talking about these older books will bring them back into the view of other people, which can always be a good thing. Through my videos, you have seen that we visit 2 different libraries the library of Anden that we visit mostly because of the fun activities they organize. And then myself and the kids are reading through the library of Vence, which also has some fun activities that we go to, but of a different kind. The library of Vence has its main library that we visit and 3 other outposts. And all 4 together are members of the network of libraries of the Province de Liège, which means that we not only have access to the books of Vence and the 3 outposts, but also to all the books that are in the network. And for that, we only have to ask for a book, and then they have a system that the book is put on hold. And when your turn arrives, they have like a little van that drives the books around, a book taxi that drives the books around from library to library so that everybody can have access to that. I think that is a really great system because it allows libraries to not buy all the new popular books and still can offer the reading of them to everybody. And I feel then that everybody has access to more books because the overall budget goes to more different books. During the lockdown, our library, just as many libraries, organized itself in a way that people could access them and continue reading, especially since we were all stuck at home and we needed to occupy ourselves. And the response of the Library of Vence was the bibliodrive. The idea behind this was that people could contact them by telephone or email and ask for a specific book, just a selection of books, or then be more precise and say like, I like this type of story. Do you have anything that I could read that is in the same vibe of it? And it became so popular that the library continued this system after this difficult period. What also happened is that our library developed a system that it brings book to the people that cannot come to the library. And I can just say that I have a great admiration for this whole social project. There are not many libraries doing that, and bringing culture to the people is just a fantastic thing to do. We started using this bibliodrive and we continued doing so for several reasons. One is the kids are full of life. I love them, but if they could be a bit calmer, that would be great for library visits especially. They are enthusiastic, they run everywhere, they all want my attention at the same time, and I cannot manage this energy for each of them at the same time. So I rarely go with all of them. I did today, though, to the library. And with this bibliodrive system, well, I sent an email, mostly about 2 weeks beforehand, with a listing of all the books that we would like to put on hold. And then it is Chloe who does all this work for us. She gathers all the books. She makes, most of the time, she makes a selection for Meirin. And then we have an appointment. I go drop off the previous ones and pick up the new ones. And I really am grateful for this system, not only because it saves me a lot of energy trying to manage the kids in this environment, but also in time. I do have to bring them all to school, get them all work, do a lot of other things, and being able to function like this means that I can limit the time that a library visit takes us, and it's giving me more reading time. So I really, really appreciate this service. Having us 7 read so many books means that we also need to keep track of all those books. And of course, our library has a website on which we can log in for each one and see all the books that are on the cards. But unfortunately, that's the only thing about the library we enjoy less. That's the website. It is slow and it often does not work. And to gain some time, I have in my reading journal my monthly bibliodrive spread. So before we go, I take this spread. I gather the kids and I go on this list book for book, and I have them bring it back, put it in a bag, and I cross off the books that are going back. And if we need to ask if we can keep them a little bit longer, then I mark it in there as well. I can prolong them. Do you say that in English? Prolonger? To prolong? I can extend our borrowing time on the website, but since we have books coming in regularly, sometimes we cannot do it ourselves anymore. So I have my reading journal and I know which books I need to address at the library. And then we go, we pick up the books, we come home, and we do it the other way around. I take the new bibliodrive spread and I write down all the books that we have in the house. And then all those books are put into that bookshelf that Geoffrey made for me. We still need to finish it. It needs some paint, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and so isn't our house. But we have this bookcase that holds all the books from the library. Just in the bottom, there are some books that are for everybody as well in our house, like dictionaries. We are going to jump into imagery of us preparing to go for the library, going, coming back. And I don't think I am going to talk over those images. I will just leave you with images and music. I have talked way too much. I'm interrupting the imagery because I want to talk to you about the historical building our library is located in. This castle is called Le Château à l'Horloge, or the castle with the clock, because of the quite strange big clock that is on the front side of it. It was built in the late 18th century and inhabited since 1852. Yes, I need to spy on my notes sometimes, so I will be looking down. I have found different people or names for it, but in the documents of the town itself, it is stipulated that it is by an engineer that came from Britain and that helped construct the railroads that we have in this region of Belgium. The balcony is an addition of the 19th century, and so is the tower that has a roof with 8 sides and that holds a little bell. It's like a church bell, but then smaller, and it was used to sound the alarm for whatever reason needed an alarm. The name of this castle comes from the clock, like I said, and of this clock there is not much that I can say except that the 2 statues holding it, 2 little boys, are called putti, and they are a symbol in Italian painting culture for love. This castle used to be in a very large park that holded rare plants. There is not much left of that. There is a little piece of it, but we couldn't go there today because of the thunderstorms. It also had a farm next to it. That farm still exists and is still active. So there is, when we go to the little park, you can see the cows in the stables. The castle has been used by the town from 1953 as a town hall, was bought in 1955, and after being a town hall, it also served a little bit as a school. I wished I could go to a school in a castle. That's great. That was done before Harry Potter, because this building was left to itself until the late 80s, when the town renovated it completely to give it its actual purpose, which is being a library, a small cultural center, and also a mediatheque. A mediatheque is a place where you can borrow board games or newspapers, magazines, audiobooks. It used also to be like CDs, DVDs, things like that. But I feel that that part of it is mostly lost. When they renovated this building, they did find in the walls above the clock a parchment. I couldn't find what it said, but it stipulated that the builders or the workers made another note, put it in the wall as well, and they added 2 pieces of 50 Belgian francs, which is a money that doesn't exist anymore. And I feel that is some very funny fact to know. See you soon!